another episode of the Maturity Project, and I am your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. And today's episode is You're It. Kind of like that childhood game, right? Tag, you're it. No, you're it, man. If you're waiting for somebody to come help you or come save you or whatever, if you want them to do it for you, it's not going to happen. Or if it does, it's really going to be more of a slow poison than it is anything else because of how it works. You might get the fruit of what you're after, but you lose the ability to do it yourself. And when you want something and you can't seem to get it, look at your character, look at your abilities, look at what you've developed yourself into. Who are you based off of what you've made yourself become? That's what really the benefit is, because when you've accomplished something and you've gotten to be so good at it, like you develop the skills necessary. We refer to that as being good at it typically, right? It's like I've practiced this a bunch of times. I know that I'm good at this, and here's how. Because I have X amount of times that I've done it, that proves it. That you've successfully done something so many times, you have a higher potential of accuracy of accomplishing it. That's the way it works. So, getting help from people is fine. Identifying how help occurs is actually so much more beneficial. If somebody steps in and says, hey, here you go, here's this thing. Okay, here, look at it this way. Lottery winners. Some of the most depressed people and some of the people that are the most worse off after an intervention is people that win the lottery. An intervention being you won the lottery. You got this money. You haven't had it before. Now you have more money than you've ever had in your life. These people that win the big ones, right? Win the multi-million dollar to hundreds of millions of dollars. Even those people have the opportunity to go broke. People that win millions, they go broke. What happened is they've not had the financial maturity necessary to deal with that kind of money. So they spend it frivolously. It's all kinds of things. I'm not saying this is an absolute, but this is a very high commonality, that these people do these things. And I'm not knocking anybody. It's illustrating something to help people understand this better. So if you're given a bunch of money, it could be a life insurance policy, it could be an inheritance of some sorts, it could be whatever, right? And a whole bunch of money. If you don't have the financial maturity to work with that and to deal with it, you will have a hard time maintaining it. So, excuse me. The more mature you are financially, the more likely you are to find out what to do to invest the money or what you're going to do with the money specifically that's going to have a desirable outcome. By the way, one of the things that you could do that would be a less than mature would be, I just inherited, all of this money and I'm going to give it all the way to charity. Well, if you don't look into what the charity stands for, how much that money gets distributed to where, and you just sit back and tell yourself, you know what, I did a good thing, and it goes to a charity that actually has very little for research and development, which, by the way, all this stuff is completely publicly aware. Could be a charity that the majority of the money goes to things like paying payroll, and very little in research and development if it's for a cure of something. If it's for helping homeless, how much of that money actually goes to help the homeless versus goes for other things that if you knew that it went to that, you wouldn't agree. So if you give all your money away and then later in life find out that you have given your money in vain, you're going to be pretty upset by that. Now, it may motivate you and do something different, but this is the first level catalyst thing. So that could be one of them. After researching charities during the whole ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, is whenever I was introduced to it. And at the time I was dating a girl that had a nonprofit that worked with ALS, and she really opened my eyes to how those charities work. And then it opened my eyes to how other charities work. And then I started looking into it. So this episode is not about charities. This is just about that being, well, how could that be wrong, Chad? How could it be a bad thing to donate to charity? You could regret it because you didn't have the maturity necessary to understand it. But the money was given to you and you just didn't know, you don't know how to recreate it. It creates more of a curse. That's why money, they say money's a curse or the root of all evil and all this stuff. It's the maturity is the difference, because there's plenty of people that are very wealthy, that are very good in the world. They do great things, but they also are very methodical and calculated. They're very intelligent about what they do because they don't want to enable. I am not a fan of enabling anybody. I am a fan of supporting people to develop. So if you're just given a bunch of stuff, then you don't get to learn the lesson necessary to accumulate that. Same thing. Somebody steps in and it could be a fight, right? Like as a kid, I grew up I'm one in 6 boys. We grew up in in rural parts of Florida. We had some great country living. So if a fight was going down, we fought in the family. We fist fights and wrestle and rough and tumble and all that stuff. And if somebody else were to mess with one of my brothers or whatever, it'd make me want to go and fight too. But what I did learn, though, is that, one, you really do need to understand the consequences of everything. And you get to learn that through a lot of things. I was very fortunate to have that be an opportunity to help me learn, my physical capacity and, a lot of things about me, but I got to learn it. It wasn't taken away from me by somebody stepping in. My brothers actually didn't stand up for me very often at all. But I also am kind of an intelligent kid. So I got myself into trouble occasionally, but I learned to fight because of it. So I learned to defend myself. Now as an adult, I do not. That's one of the last things that I want to do is to physically fight somebody. I love to have a conversation and make a difference. But I learned that because I had to go through the hardships of the lessons. So with this, people, if they come to save you, can be a problem because it offsets your lesson. Now, if they come to save you and help you learn it, but you have the impact and the weight of what was going on, then you have a higher probability of actually learning the bigger part of the lesson. You don't want to learn a little piece. You want to learn the bigger piece because that stops you from having it again in the future in a way that you need help, you need rescue. You're better off to be able to do it yourself, but you can get mentors, you can do a lot of things along the way. I'm not saying just, don't ask for help, but when you ask for help, know what you're asking for. Ask to be shown how to go through something and to be supported in the process, not done for you. If it's done for you, it enables you, and it enables the lesson. So we don't want that. All right, that's it for today. This is an episode on ain't coming. Nobody's coming. If they do, watch out. So, what do you lose when somebody gives, right? So there's opportunities all around us. I am the one that takes the harder path in life because that path will yield a better result. It's only harder usually temporarily, until you develop the skills necessary to navigate through what it is that you're trying to navigate through. So, all right, till next time, I am your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some, and this is the Maturity Project. We do have a world to save, and to make a difference in, but we really do need to start with ourselves. So until next time, guys, see ya.